This is the most famous statue in France, but it's probably not the most famous French statue in the world. This one is. I'm sure you know this one. I mean, practically everybody does. But the next time that you come to Paris, maybe keep an eye out for some of the more unusual statues that you may find scattered around the city. Some of them may be a bit more different than what you're used to. No, statues aren't boring. At least in Paris they're not. I'll show you where you can find this fella and explain why everybody's rubbing his crotch. Or this one whose breasts are getting shinier by the day. Or Mr. Stuck in the Wall. Or why this became a monument to Princess Diana even though it started out as something else. But first, please smash that subscribe button. I really was. Look, if you want to see and touch the power of statues, the best place by far is the Musée Rodin in the 7th arrondissement. Rodin for me will always be the true master of sculpture. The physicality of his works really astound. And the subjects, ranging from busts up to his epic and unfinished Gates of Hell, will be anchored in your subconscious forever. He worked on the Gates of Hell for half of his life, and you can also find another one of his masterpieces here, The Kiss, which you might also know was originally meant to have been on the gates, but he separated it out, and rightly so. I mean, just look at it. The same is true with the Sinker, which was originally called The Poet. This was meant to sit at the center top of the Gates of Hell, but he made it a standalone, and everyone now knows it. There's a lot more to see in Musée Rodin, which used to be his workshop. Some workshop. For instance, and this really gets to me, it also has the works by Camille Claudel, who was Rodin's model, lover, and a fully formed artist in her own right. As you can see. I think Rodin has very great physicality in his work, but she truly brings emotions into life. There's a good French movie about her and her dramatic life, including about how she spent the last years in a mental asylum while she was still working. On to the other statues I mentioned earlier. First of all, the Statue of Liberty, or to give it its full name, Liberty Enlightening the World. Sure, America has one of these, a pretty decent sized one. It was designed by Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, with rumors at the time saying it featured his mother's face. Gustave Eiffel of the Tower of Eiffel, of course, had this huge statue built. There are now hundreds of replicas of the Statue of Liberty around the world, and Paris has a couple that you can get close to. For example, there's one on the Seine, and then there's this one in Jardin de Luxembourg. Not so far from the Eiffel Tower, there's an exact replica of the Statue of Liberty's torch. It's on Pont d'Alma. There's a tunnel under it. Actually, that's the tunnel where Princess Diana had her accident in 1997. So ever since the next day, basically, it became a shrine, a memorial to Princess Diana. Apart from Musée Rodin, another great place to see unusual statues is the cemetery, Père Lachaise. For now, I'm going to take you to see a guy whose crotch has been rubbed a lot. This is Victor Noir. Well, the guy's real name is actually Yvan Salmon. And he was a journalist who wrote under the pen name Victor Noir. He was shot and killed at the age of 21 by the nephew of Napoleon Bonaparte. So the story around this area that has a different color is that it's a myth that says that the women who stroke it or straddle it get enhanced fertility. I think he's very well endowed, my friend. Good for you. Please don't make me pregnant. Please. In death, Victor Noir became a Republican symbol against the Second French Empire of Napoleon III. In Montmartre, you'll find a bust whose, well, bust is well worn too. This is of a singer named Dalida, who was like a pop goddess to the French. She was Italian, born in Egypt, and became French. She lived nearby until her suicide in 1987. And just around the corner, you'll find this dude, stuck halfway in a wall forever. No matter how hard you try to pull him out, he's still there. There are many other statues around Paris that go beyond the usual representations. Like this one, of Solitude. She's the very first statue of a black woman in Paris. She was put here in May 2022. It is a symbol of the fight against slavery. She was a slave in Guadeloupe, where France was going to bring back slavery, and that is where she fought against the French military. She was caught and executed. Actually, you can see in the statue that she's fully pregnant. She was actually executed the very next day of giving birth. There's history chiseled into many of them, but also humor, eroticism, and perhaps even moments of madness. There is so much more to Paris than meets the eye when you're just walking around. I mean, there is something that you see, but then behind it there is history, a story. And all of that is just larger than life. And it makes me feel larger than life.